This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Thank you so much for listening to the Uncle Henry Show here on this Monday. Today we have guests in studio. Virginia Guy is back from the Drug Education Council. Virginia, thank you for coming back on the Uncle Henry Show.
Thank you.
And you brought Lori Myles with you. Lori, you are with the Sheriff's Department, correct?
I am.
So you are both here to tell me and the listeners about your big annual luncheon. Tell me about it this year.
Right. Our annual luncheon is going to be Monday, April 20th at the Mobile Riverview Renaissance Plaza Hotel. And we're expecting a huge crowd. We have Lauren Sizzler, who is our celebrity speaker.
Lauren Sizzler. Now, I don't know. Lori, can you tell me about Lauren? I'm not familiar with Lauren Sizzler.
She's a sideline reporter for ESPN. And she's going to tell her personal story. She lost both her parents to an overdose within 24 hours of each other.
Both of her parents?
Both of her parents.
Within 24 hours?
Yep.
Now, so she obviously has quite a story to tell.
She really does. And, she's also just an amazing sports broadcaster. She's won all kinds of awards. She's won an Abby. She's won an award from the Alabama Associated Press and from the National Sports Media. But she's most well known for an Emmy that she won for a show that she produced. It was an interview with Charles Barkley and Nick Saban, and it had like 11 million views in a very short amount of time. And it's really a fun, interesting piece.
I tell you, I just felt, it's weird to say this when I have guests in talking about drug abuse, but I felt things going off in my brain when you said it was Nick Saban and Barkley. I know. Oh, now you've got me wanting to go to the lunch. So the lunch is coming up on the 20th?
Right.
How can people get tickets, and what happens at one of these lunches?
Well, we're going to give a couple of awards away to some community leaders that have done remarkable things to keep our communities and families safe. And then we'll hear from our speaker. We try to get everybody in and out in as short a time as we can, but we're expecting 700 to 800 people. So
700 to 800. Is it always that big?
Yes, it's always sold out. So we're thrilled.
Okay, so still opportunities to get tickets to this?
Yes, if they go to drugeducation.org, or they can call our office at 251-478-7855.
Drugeducation.org. We'll talk more about that throughout the hour. So how did you pick this speaker?
Well, so often we have celebrities come in that have a problem themselves. They have an addiction that they've overcome, and they tell their story of recovery. But we know that so often when addiction happens in a family, the family suffers even more than the person with the addiction. So we think it's very important to tell the story through the family's eyes.
Okay. Have you done that before? Have you brought in people that have talked from that perspective?
We have. We've had a couple of speakers, through the years. This is our 29th year. So we've had far more people in recovery themselves than family members. But it's just so important to recognize the family, and also to let families know that there is help available.
Now, and we'll talk about that in the hour. Lori, how long have you been involved with the Drug Education Council?
So I was doing community work with Virginia before I went to work with the Sheriff's Office doing the Underage Drinking Task Force, kind of very similar to Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. It was a group of mothers that kind of formed this committee along with a principal at St. Paul's. And so I had known Virginia since then. And then our friendship just grew, and then she asked me to be I've been on the luncheon committee for several years, and now I've been on her board for about 3 years. But I didn't know how important her friendship was going to be until I experienced addiction myself. I lost my oldest son in 2022 to an overdose to fentanyl. So she really helped me direct me in a path to get him help, or try to get help for him, and also get help for the family, because it's so true. It doesn't just affect the person that's addicted, it affects the entire family.
And I'm sorry to hear about that, but does this resonate for you then, having this type of luncheon guest? It
does. I got to know Lauren. She and I spoke at a couple of events together, and then when I went to see the exhibit, both her parents and my son Harrison were in an exhibit that's called Into Light, and it helps to break the stigma of addiction so that people can go through, see the pictures of the story of the person that lost their life, and hopefully learn from it. Like Judge Wright used it in her drug court when we had it down at the city county building. So I got to meet her then, and then when I went to see the exhibit, her parents were right beside Harrison's exhibit. So she and I bonded with that, and have spoken several times, and we share a lot of the same feelings. You know, you try so hard to fix it yourself, but you didn't cause it. You can't cure it, and always forget the last one.
Can't control it.
And you can't control it.
So is there still, this has been talked about now, it feels like for more than a generation in our society, but is there still, you said a stigma, is there still a stigma
I think
to
so.
addiction?
I think so. I think the minute I say Harrison was addicted to opioids and then heroin and then fentanyl, your vision of him may be that he's homeless, he's living on the streets. He was living in Nashville. He was a studio musician. He had a full-time job. He got up and went to work, but he was an addict. And, you know, it took over his life, and he went to rehab several times and did well. But this last time, he tried to use the same amount, and he overdosed on it.
So this, and you say stigma, I guess there's a lot of people that don't realize that you can succeed at a certain level while having these addictions, at least until it catches up with you.
It can be high functioning, yes. And we all know, we've heard how deadly fentanyl is. And he had become somewhat of a scientist. He knew how to mix, just so much. But then after being in rehab for about 40 days, and then he came out and used again, and then that's what killed him.
And this, unfortunately, sounds familiar.
Yeah.
In that you hear of people, especially with fentanyl, miscalculating with fentanyl. Am I getting that right? Is that something that's happened a lot in the country?
Yes. Fentanyl, particularly street fentanyl, has totally changed addiction. It's what's causing, the majority of the overdose deaths. When I first started working in this field, people would become addicted, but it would take a number of years before, they would, overdose and die. And this is happening. There's a program we do with students called One Pill Can Kill. We know that because of the illegal pill pressers, if there's fentanyl in a pill, there's a high likelihood that somebody will use it and overdose. And that's not even with addiction.
We're going to talk more about all of this. We have the Drug Education Council represented here, Virginia Guy, Lori Myles, back with more after the break on the Uncle Henry Show.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
Roadwork is continuing along I-10 eastbound. The left lane is blocked between the Baldwin Beach Express and Wilcox Road. We also have the crash with road blockage on Pensacola Boulevard at West 9 Mile Road. Heavy congestion developing on the Bayway east on I-10 from I-65 to the Eastern Shore, a 25-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Now that we're in the springtime with more daylight at the end of the day, it's definitely grilling season. Uncle Henry here to remind you that Greer's has everything you need to grill. Greer's always has quality food at everyday low prices, a wonderful selection of meats, and you can even find Lucy Greer's grilled meats recipes at Greers.com. Grilling season and Greer's go together.
And remember, Greer's got it. We guarantee it.
At Advanced Dermatology and Skincare Center, our board-certified dermatologists are here to help you look and feel your best. From advanced laser treatments to medical-grade skincare products and today's most innovative procedures, we've got you covered. And right now, you can save on great products and procedures, including $40 off Juvo. Plus, save $150 off Cool Sculpting. Call Advanced Dermatology and Skincare Center or schedule online at advanceddermclinic.com.
Sat Vai Band, featuring Joe Satriani and Steve Vai.
I wanna play my guitar.
Two living legends, one band, surfing with the Hydra 2026 tour. April 20th, Sanger Theater, Mobile. With special guest, Animals as leaders. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Sat Vai Band, an electrifying sonic powerhouse.
It's tax season, and by now, I know you're a bit tired of the numbers, but here's an important one you need to hear. $16 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud. Not all grim news. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second for your personal information and alerts you to threats that you could easily miss on your own. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to fix it. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK, 1-800-LifeLock or lifelock.com. Terms to apply.
Progressive presents Heroes That Keep Truckers Going. Today's hero, the true crime podcaster you listen to during a long haul. Yes, you may never look at a pair of pliers the same way again. Or your spouse using pliers. But boy, you were entertained. Thanks, hero. Another thing that can keep truckers going, Progressive Truck Insurance with primary liability limits up to $2 million. Get a quote at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. $2 million limit is not available in all states.
Hey, Uncle Henry here, and if it's your dream to own a boat, do what so many Mobile County people do. Go see my friends at Gulf Coast Federal Credit Union. They finance new and pre-owned boats with up to 100% financing. Terms up to 5 years for lower payments, no application fee, and fast local answers. You can apply now at GulfCoastFCU.org. Call 251-438-7464 or stop by a branch. Loans subject to approval. That's Gulf Coast Federal Credit Union.
Wayfinder Life-Changing Travel is back for Season 2. Join us as we explore breathtaking natural beauty and the layered history of destinations around the world.
One of the things that really struck me about my time in Alaska, there's just a more dramatic starkness where the water and the land meet. It really is just a magical landscape.
So come along as Season 2 takes off. Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Wayfinder, and listen now.
From the Peden Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electrical Weather Center.
Look for gradual clearing overnight tonight with cool temperatures. Our overnight lows will be in the lower 50s tonight. We do expect a return of sunshine tomorrow on your Tuesday, and we'll have daytime highs in the upper 70s. I'm Fox 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith for this iHeartRadio station.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle from Blindster.com. If you've priced custom blinds at a retail store, you know how expensive they can be. At Blindster, we do things differently. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big on custom blinds. Plus, we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
News? Check. Traffic and weather? Check. Opinions? Check. This is the Uncle Henry Show, only on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show continues here on News Radio 710 WNTM. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes. Our guests this hour, we have Virginia Guy and Lori Myles. They're both talking about the big luncheon coming up for the Drug Education Council. DrugEducation.org is where you get tickets. This sells out every year. Why does it sell out every year?
Well, I think, for a number of reasons. I hope it's because the community really wants to support our agency. But then also we bring in, really interesting speakers that have our mission in mind. So their story, the fundraiser actually goes along with our mission.
Okay. And again, that is going to be on April 20th. At the Riverview. DrugEducation.org is the website to get more info and tickets, DrugEducation.org. And it sells out every year, so when is it going to sell out? Do people need to get their ticket this week?
Absolutely, because we're close.
Okay, so you're close.
We're close.
Okay, so this could push it over the edge here. So both of you would love to see a world where we're not worried about people taking drugs and overdosing and things like that. But it just seems like as each year goes by, this country is looking for more and more ways to avoid reality and take drugs. I mean, it just. Do you ever, Virginia Guy? Do you ever ponder on this? Do you ever get discouraged? Because every time every month there's some new drug.
Right. I don't get discouraged because there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of kids making the right decisions, doing the right thing, getting up every day, going to school, not using drugs. So the myth that everybody's doing it is not true. We've got a tremendous number of young people in our community that are not using drugs. One of the things that's changed in recent years is fewer children are using, but the ones that are using are getting in more trouble faster because the drugs are stronger, they're more powerful, kids are starting younger. So that's one of the things that we've got to, continue to work on. And, another thing, we've got to talk with kids about their feelings and about finding their passion in life and things like that. Because when I first started working, people who became addicted generally were partying, and today that's not the case. So many kids, instead of getting in trouble partying, they're really treating real pain. We've got a very anxious generation of children. They're stressed, they're overscheduled, they feel like they're not living up to expectations, they're being pushed really hard, and those are our good kids that will end up getting in trouble. So mental health and drug use go hand in hand. And we have excellent school counselors and therapists that are working with kids on this. So that's really, that's good to see.
How have vapes complicated things?
Oh, big time. When the vapes first were on the scene, they were really they were supposed to be a smoking cessation device. Then they turned into a smoking alternative device. But now the vapes, typically, if you have them with young people, they don't have nicotine in them. They've got some other drug. So the vape device has really just become a drug delivery device. So, the chances of having everything from THC to methamphetamine to even fentanyl in a vape, because the vapes are being bought online, they're adulterated. So vaping is very, very dangerous.
Now, this is something I've not heard of. And I've heard of THC vapes. Mm-hmm. I have not heard of the other kinds. Mm-hmm. So what are people buying vapes online and then they put the drugs in them locally and sell them? Is that what happens?
Well, or you can buy them online that have been adulterated, or they can be adulterated locally. But a vape, anything you get online or from a friend should be considered suspect to be highly dangerous. Because the bad guys have gotten into all of whether it's pill pressing vapes or anything. We've got fentanyl is in, or could be in almost anything now, including marijuana.
So if a friend of your kid offers your kid, hey, try this vape, there's no telling what it is.
That's exactly right. And that's what parents and grandparents need to know that, and they need to talk to their children about that, because a lot of times kids don't understand that. They really think that a vape is just, it's vapor, it's just water vapor, and there isn't any water in a vape. It's all chemicals, and the chemicals can do serious lung damage. So even without the drugs, the vape itself is dangerous.
See, I've never heard of anything other than THC being in a vape. So they have meth in a vape?
Meth in a vape, fentanyl in a vape. You can put anything in a vape.
And especially if you buy it online, the vape itself, and then you can, I guess, fill it. Do they have cartridges that are removable? But one thing Virginia said I want to go back on is these schools and counselors, I could be busy every day speaking and sending narcotic officers out to speak. They are always calling my office wanting someone to come talk to kids. So they realize it's out there, and they realize it's their job to help keep these kids safe. And they're worried about their mental wellness as well.
Well, how big of a job is it keeping vapes out of the hands of kids?
Well, I think it's huge. You
That's
would know more
probably
about
the biggest issue facing our school system. Now, most schools have vape detection devices in the bathrooms, and so schools are doing an outstanding job. But vapes can be hidden so easily, where like cigarettes couldn't. You couldn't smoke a cigarette in a school classroom, years ago. You can vape in a classroom without it being detected. So the vapes are just, they're easier to hide. The smell is not the same. They're it creates a big problem, and they're smaller, and it creates just a huge problem for our schools.
What should a parent know? Are there any signs? Because as you said, you don't smell it the way you used to smell it.
Well, one thing that parents need to make sure that their children understand is that it is illegal for a child in the state of Alabama to possess a vape, no matter what's in it, even if nothing's in it. And not this past year, but last year's legislative session passed a bill making the vape device itself illegal for anyone under the age of 21. So they can't hold it, they can't possess it, it can't be in their book bag in their car. So that keeps it simple, no vape, so they don't have to test it. There's a lot of law enforcement agencies that will test vapes to see what's in them, because whether they need to charge the person with possession of THC or anything else, it gets very, very complicated.
I bet it does. I know you don't work directly for the schools, but Lori, any idea of how many vapes do they find at a school every week? I mean, is it like a garbage can full, or?
I think Virginia's been on top of the vape thing. I have not as much. But I think you've said that that's the biggest problem facing our schools right now, are vapes. So I would think.
I mean, are they finding lots of them every week?
Yes. Every day, everywhere. Yes.
Okay. All right. We're going to take a time out for traffic. We have news headlines from Fox 10 and Fox, and then back with more Uncle Henry Show. Again, if you want more information about the Drug Education Council's annual luncheon that is happening April 20th at the Riverview Plaza, you can get more info at drugeducation.org. Tickets available at drugeducation.org. This sells out every year, so if you want to go, get those tickets. Back with more after the break here on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Saver traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design.com Traffic Center.
And we're seeing congestion due to road work east on I-10. Left lane is blocked between the Baldwin Beach Express and Wilcox Road. Watch for an accident, Pensacola Boulevard at 9 Mile Road. Heavy congestion on the Bayway. From I-65 to the Eastern Shore, it's a 24-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Staples. Want a great way to boost your brand? Custom labels at Staples will help packages pop, shipments stand out, and takeout boxes really take off. Shop now through April 18th and save 30% on all custom labels. Staples, that was easy.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News. A switch tag turned to a late-night chase and crash in Escambia County, Florida. The Highway Patrol saying just before 1 a.m., a trooper spotted an SUV on North Blue Angel Parkway with a Florida tag that didn't match the car. When the trooper tried to pull it over, the driver took off. Investigators say the SUV ran off the road and hit a fence at Patricia Drive and Oak Cliff Road. The driver, Marvin Thomas, wasn't hurt, but they say he had an outstanding warrant and was arrested for felony fleeing and driving on a suspended license. In Monroeville, state investigators looking into an in-custody death after cell phone video showed officers dragging a man who died about an hour later. The video shows Amar Tunstall being taken into custody Monday on Crow Avenue. The police chief saying officers were responding to a domestic call that Tunstall had outstanding warrants and he was talking but refused to walk. A cousin who says she saw the arrest claims officers pepper sprayed and tased him multiple times. Tunstall was later found unresponsive at the county jail and died at the hospital. The officers are on administrative leave, and a lawmaker is asking the AG to step in. In downtown Mobile, local teens marked Good Friday with a live Living Stations of the Cross. The Archdiocese Youth Ministry led a walk from Spanish Plaza through Bienville Square and Cathedral Square, ending at the cathedral. Students from area parishes recreated the final hours of the life of Jesus. I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News on this iHeartRadio station.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Fox News, I'm John Saucier. President Trump is threatening to strike Iran's power plants and bridges if they don't agree to a deal that would reopen the Strait of Hormuz by tomorrow. The president says he has a plan to destroy Iran's infrastructure in just hours.
Where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again.
The UN Secretary General warning the president not to attack civilian infrastructure because that would break international law. The Artemis 2 mission crew has begun their lunar flyby. The team is starting their observations. Astronaut Christina Cook noted what the team is already seeing from their perspective.
Something I just heard from the window team is the more I look at the moon, the browner and browner it looks. I thought that was an interesting observation.
Today, they became the humans to travel furthest ever away from Earth. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, Uncle Henry here with two people who know a thing or two about financial stability. Meet John McNeil and Virginia O'Brien with Mobile Bay Financial Solutions.
Hi, I'm John. In today's unpredictable economy, staying informed is essential.
And I'm Virginia. We will help you make smart decisions, even when the market feels uncertain.
Our strategies evolve with inflation, market shifts, and policy changes, so you don't have to worry. From retirement planning to legacy planning, we offer more than investment advice.
We help you manage emotional discussions with clarity and confidence. Let's talk about your goals and where we can help. Call us today at 251-666-5000. That's 666-5000.
Mobile Bay Financial Solutions, navigating what's next together.
Advisory services offered through Mobile Bay Financial Services, LLC, an Alabama-registered investment advisor. We can offer investment advice in states where we are registered, exempt, or excluded from registration. The material contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice, securities, insurance, or other investment products.
It's tax season, and by now, I know you're a bit tired of the numbers, but here's an important one you need to hear. $16 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud. Not all grim news. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second for your personal information and alerts you to threats that you could easily miss on your own. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to fix it. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK, 1-800-LifeLock or lifelock.com. Terms to apply.
I didn't switch to Pure Talk just because I wanted to save 50% off the same 5G service I'd been paying twice as much for. I switched because I like the idea of being in business with a wireless company that supports our veterans in a meaningful way. Pure Talk also creates American jobs every day by keeping their entire operation in this country. I appreciate that. If you feel the same, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
It says the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Virginia Guy's here. Drug Education Council. Lori Myles is here from the Sheriff's Department, but you're on the board, right? You're actually on the committee for this luncheon.
I am. I'm on the committee. I've been on it probably for 10 years on the committee, maybe 12.
Okay.
So I've seen a lot of people come and go, and it's always, no one's ever the same. I think that's what I love about this luncheon, is it's always different.
Well, and before you continue, I want to let the listeners know, go to drugeducation.org and get your ticket. It sells out every year. It's every different, and people do get a lot out of the luncheon other than a meal.
Exactly. You know, like Virginia said, we award several people that are in our community who have done things for our agency or to help prevent or spread the word about the drugs being dangerous. We have a lot of those people that we award those, have an awards committee and give them awards. But I just love the different speakers. I mean, I love that. And a lot of these speakers, some of them will come and go, we're not even going to charge you. And then we have some that will go, we're going to charge you $100,000.
Oh,
yeah. So you really have to she has to weed through a lot of people to get the right, because it's a fundraiser for the things she does and her agency and all her employees do year round. And they're in the schools all the time for prevention.
Now, Virginia, Guy, for the people that have tuned in late, briefly tell people again who is speaking at the luncheon.
It's Lauren Sisler. She is an ESPN sideline reporter, and we are very thrilled to have her because many people believe that she's really the next major star at ESPN. She's already won a lot of awards. She's really just, rocketing up. So as far as her career goes, we're real fortunate to have her here. And then, of course, she has such a powerful personal story. And her whole reporting is about telling stories about the players, the coaches, the fans. She sort of gives the humanity to the sports. It's not just the statistics and the game. It's a lot about the people.
Do you think she'll have a Nick Saban anecdote? Will we get a Saban anecdote, possibly?
I'm sure you will, because Nick Saban is a huge fan of hers, and she's a huge fan of Nick Saban, so I'm sure.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm sure that...
He wrote something on the back of her book.
Very good. All right, this is you've done an outstanding job picking this guest. This is great. So, again, that is coming up on the 20th of April, drugeducation.org to get tickets. So we've talked about vapes and parents needing to be aware of that vapes can have anything in them. What else is popping up in your line of work that people should be worried about? Over the last several years, the top headlines have been fentanyl, overdoses from fentanyl. Is that still the problem it was?
That's still a huge problem. Alcohol always has been, a problem. Meth is making kind of a comeback. Of course, marijuana, cannabis, and then gas station drugs. Those are very problematic. I think the main thing is parents need to talk to their kids about the reasons why you would not use drugs. We know that 90% of addiction begins in the teen years. So that if you use drugs before your brain is fully developed, you kind of set yourself up for addiction later on in life. So we know that the longer you can delay a person from using drugs till their brain can get developed, which is typically in the early 20s, the less likely that person will have of becoming addicted at any point in their life. Because we know that drugs can be a godsend for so many things. It's not the drug that's the problem. No, the street drugs are a problem, but drugs are not the problem. It's what's going on inside the person that makes it problematic.
Now, you just said that meth is making a comeback?
Yes.
How is that happening?
Well, I think because, when you crack down on one thing, because people, have the need to use, and when you crack down on one thing, then something else, pops up. And so it's always been cyclical like that, like spices come and gone, different drugs kind of come and go, almost like fads.
And it's not the meth that was the kitchen meth that we started, like when Sam Cochran was sheriff. If you remember, we had what was called the meth initiative.
Oh, yeah.
And they were cooking it and doing it all themselves. It's more the Mexican meth being transported here is what we're seeing more of.
Okay, so it's not people making meth up in North Mobile County or something like that. No offense, North Mobile County.
Not at all.
But it is actually being manufactured somewhere and brought in.
Yeah.
So you mentioned something another thing I don't understand at all. Gas station drugs.
Right.
Now, you're talking about things that people don't know that are illegal that are being sold in gas stations?
Right. There's it's a complicated issue. There's kava shots and kratom and things like that. They look like kind of 1 hour energy drinks. They're sold under names like Bougie Bliss, Better Weather, Happy Hour, different things like that. They're sold to promote relaxation, muscle recovery after workouts, all of those kind of things. The majority of them have kratom in them. And kratom was made illegal in the state of Alabama probably 8 or 9 years ago. And it pretty much disappeared off of the shelves of convenience stores and vape shops and that kind of thing. It's kind of come back now because, law enforcement, has a hard time regulating it. It's come back now and it's being sold, and it doesn't have the ingredients on it because it's not regulated. It doesn't have to have the ingredients on it. So the only way a shop owner would even know that there's anything in it is to have it tested.
Now, is this something that are gas station drugs a continuing issue? I mean, if it's not kratom, is it something else?
Right, it's all kinds of things in those, and the biggest problem is we don't know what they are. With it not being regulated, you can sell it under any kind of name. Now, one of the things, there was a national study where one of the universities went around and got all kinds of these things out of health food stores, gas stations, convenience stores, head shops, all of that, and tested them. There wasn't a single thing that they tested that had what was in it. Some of them had more, some of them had less, some of them had nothing. So basically, the industry is it's like the Wild Wild West. It's not regulated, and so you really don't know what's in it.
Now, did you just tell me that a study showed that on these products nothing contained what it said it did?
That study
is totally misleading.
So everything was labeled wrong.
If it said it had 3%, it may have had 2%. It may have 10%. But none of them were exact. And I'm really thinking that with the manufacturing, it's not exact. So, that's why that happens. See, we know, like with alcohol, which is regulated, we know that when you buy 80 proof whiskey, it has 40% alcohol in it every time. But this would be like going and buying something, one time, one weekend, and then going back the next weekend buying the exact same thing. It may have a different amount of the mood altering, substance in it.
Now, who do you hear from most at Drug Education Council? Is it parents mostly, or who is it?
Mostly it's family members. Occasionally the person with the addiction will contact us, but generally it's family members because families are the ones that are worried first about somebody. So it's sometimes it's parents worried about their child. Sometimes it's children worried about parents. Sometimes it's siblings. A lot of spouses. A lot of people will, just not know what to do when their husband or wife is using. It's one of the scariest things in the world because you can't control it, you can't cure it, and the part of the development of the disease of addiction is kind of the lying, the sneakiness, the hiding it because that's the way to kind of maintain your addiction. So there's a lot of things like that happen, and it just causes families to be disrupted. In a family you may have, if it's a child that's using, say it's an 18, 19-year-old child, the father may be angry about it, mother may be crying about it, the siblings want to get away from it. Everybody responds emotionally in a completely different way. So we try to get all the family kind of on board about it and move them to the point where they can look at it, the same way, and to take care of themselves. That's the biggest thing.
What kind of resources do you have? We've got less than a minute here before we go to break, but if somebody finds their kid with a vape that's THC or something like that, what kind of resources can you offer?
We have a lot. First, assess the situation and see whether the person is using and it's just a discipline problem or whether it's really crossed that line into addiction, and then it becomes a health care problem. And then taking it from there. There's a lot of help available. The good news is there's a tremendous amount of help available.
Very good. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we continue. We have one more segment left with Virginia Guy and Lori Myles talking about the annual luncheon for the Drug Education Council. Get your tickets at drugeducation.org. Back after the break.
And we're seeing congestion due to road work east on I-10. Left lane is blocked between the Baldwin Beach Express and Wilcox Road. Watch for an accident, Pensacola Boulevard at 9 Mile Road. Heavy congestion on the Bayway. From I-65 to the Eastern Shore, it's a 24-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Hey, this is Anna from Mobile Bay Coins. We're buying paper money, sterling silver flatware, collectible coins, bullion, gold scrap, jewelry, and more. Are you looking to sell your gold and silver? If so, stop by the shop. 2204 Government Street. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or give us a call at 251-725-1590.
That's Mobile Bay Coins and Fine Jewelry. You can find them on Facebook, on Instagram, and their website is mobilebaycoins.com.
At Advanced Dermatology and Skincare Center, our board-certified dermatologists are here to help you look and feel your best. From advanced laser treatments to medical-grade skincare products and today's most innovative procedures, we've got you covered. And right now, you can save on great products and procedures, including $40 off Juvo. Plus, save $150 off Cool Sculpting. Call Advanced Dermatology and Skincare Center or schedule online at advanceddermclinic.com.
I'm Lori Siegel, and this is Mostly Human, a tech podcast through a human lens. This week, an interview with OpenAI CEO Sam Altman.
I think society is going to decide that creators of AI products bear a tremendous amount of responsibility to the products we put out in the world.
An in-depth conversation with the man who's shaping our future.
My highest order bit is to not destroy the world with AI.
Listen to Mostly Human on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Mostly Human and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
I didn't switch to Pure Talk just because I wanted to save 50% off the same 5G service I'd been paying twice as much for. I switched because I like the idea of being in business with a wireless company that supports our veterans in a meaningful way. Pure Talk also creates American jobs every day by keeping their entire operation in this country. I appreciate that. If you feel the same, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
It's tax season, and by now, I know you're a bit tired of the numbers, but here's an important one you need to hear. $16 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud. Not all grim news. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second for your personal information and alerts you to threats that you could easily miss on your own. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to fix it. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK, 1-800-LifeLock or lifelock.com. Terms to apply.
Hey, are you ready to make your home look even more beautiful? Well, if you are, go see my friends at American Flooring Cabinets and Granite. Uncle Henry here to tell you that I've known these people since the 1970s. They've been in business on the Gulf Coast that long because they've really put an emphasis on providing exceptional craftsmanship, personalized service, and truly innovative design solutions. This spring is the best time for beautiful new floors. At American Flooring Cabinets and Granite, they have everything you might want or need. Luxury vinyl plank, high-quality carpeting, the timeless beauty of hardwood and tile. Plus, they've got experts to help you find the perfect flooring for your home. And tell them Uncle Henry sent you, and you can get up to 50% off select products. What? Yes, up to 50% off. That's American Flooring Cabinets and Granite. Locations in Mobile, Foley, and Pensacola. Elevate your space all in one place at American Flooring Cabinets and Granite.
For more information about contests on this station, go to newsradio710.com/rules.
Look for gradual clearing overnight tonight with cool temperatures. Our overnight lows will be in the lower 50s tonight. We do expect a return of sunshine tomorrow on your Tuesday, and we'll have daytime highs in the upper 70s. I'm Fox 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith for this iHeart Radio station.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle from Blindster.com. If you price custom blinds at a retail store, you know how expensive they can be. At Blindster, we do things differently. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big on custom blinds. Plus, we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
Your one stop for advertising? Call 844-844-iHeart.
Available everywhere with the iHeart Radio app. Now #1 for podcasting. This is News Radio 710, WNTM, an iHeart radio station.
Uncle Henry Show, our final moments here with Virginia Guy and Lori Myles talking about the Drug Education Council's annual luncheon. The annual luncheon is April 20th, Mobile Riverview Plaza Hotel. Get your tickets at drugeducation.org. This thing sells out every year. If you could hold it at Ladd Stadium, would you think it would sell out?
I bet it would.
I did too.
You bet it would. Okay. Maybe think about one of the local stadiums. We've got a few of them to pick from here. Now, is there a way to end on a positive note? People do recover.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know that treatment works and recovery happens. So we do know that people can and do recover. We have to get the person to the point where they're willing to accept help and do the work themselves. You know, the family can't do it for them. So, and that's what the difficult part is. But they're every day people are getting into recovery, staying in recovery. We have a lot of wonderful people. In fact, a lot of the people on our luncheon committee and associated with our agency are in recovery themselves, sharing their story and helping others.
Okay, so if someone goes to drugeducation.org, are there resources online that can help the journey?
Yes, there's all kinds of resources. There's just, depending on your family situation, what you've already done, where your person is at this moment, there's a tremendous amount of help, and some of it's online, some in person. But there's, call us anytime. We'll be glad to help you and your family decide what are the best options for you.
Because I want to say this, when you go online and you search, it can be overwhelming for a family. Mm-hmm. We are so fortunate to have the Drug Education Council here. So if you are local, if you're across the bay, she also has an office in across the bay as well in Baldwin County. Call them so that they can walk you through the process and get you where you need to be or your loved one needs to be. That's so important.
Now, the Drug Education Council is right next door to where I work here, near Bel Air Mall. And there are many days of the week that I drive out and there is someone sitting in your parking lot with a table. They're sitting there with a table. Yeah. What are they offering people, Virginia Guy?
We have found that a lot of people won't come into our office, but if we've got a setup outside, they'll stop and get information. So it's really whether they're going to the DHR office or whether they're going to the TV station, the radio station. A lot of people riding by. It's just it's a comfortable way for people to get confidential information without feeling intimidated. And so we often, on pretty days, will set up out there. It's amazing, the cars. You've probably seen it. The cars that will stop and talk, because, this is an issue that I think has affected almost everybody in some way. So, we can talk with them about their specific situation, whether it's, with somebody that they're worried about in their family or a friend, or they just want general information for their children. Or they want a program for their church. We have all kinds of questions out there. So it's been a really interesting, we started it during the pandemic shutdown, and it was such a hit. We found it's people that will get help that maybe won't call or stop in.
Okay. That is, I've wondered about it. I just wondered if people did stop, and you say they do. They stop and they talk.
Absolutely.
Well, I might have to stop.
Well, please do.
Just to chat them up. Mm-hmm. If they do look lonely out there, every now and again they do. So again, this luncheon, you're anticipating a sellout real quick. Are you real close? Do people need to get the tickets as quickly as possible on this?
Yes, please do. If we've still got some sponsorships available for tables, but we're real close to being a sellout. The majority of the people that come to the luncheon are sitting at a table that is sponsored by somebody. So, and if there's somebody out there that wants to come and can't afford a ticket, give me a call. We've always got some spots for people that we can get in, because we want the message out there. So we want the people to hear the message as well.
Okay, what number should people call if they want to get in touch with you?
They can call my cell number at 251-751-3665. Or they can call the office at 251-478-7855.
And again, you can get more information on the luncheon at drugeducation.org, and lots of info at drugeducation.org on all the things we've talked about today. Virginia Guy, thank you for coming in. Lori Myles, it was great to have you on the air for the first time.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Okay, we're going to be taking a time out here for news at the top of the hour, and then more Uncle Henry Show. We have guests all week long on the Uncle Henry Show. Tomorrow, Johnny Gwynn is coming in. Yes, they're nodding knowingly. Nodding knowingly about Johnny Gwynn. Johnny Gwynn is coming in. He is trying to teach people about crypto.
Oh.
Not the dog, but the actual about
the currency.
Thank you. Whatever it is.
I need to listen then.
Me too. Exactly. I didn't even know what to call it. So tomorrow, if you're interested in that, Johnny Gwynn will be with us tomorrow here on News Radio 710 WNTM, the Uncle Henry Show. And again, thank you, Virginia, Guy, and Lori Myles, for coming in and talking about your event. I hope you have a great luncheon again this year.
Thank you.